normally do stream, but changing it up a little bit. Mostly because spring break and plans and stuff, but yeah. Right. So recapping back from the last session, you guys had a pretty combat intensive one actually, if I recall.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
A lot of fighting, a lot of shenanigans.
Very eventful.
Very. Yep. It was your first session in.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Yep. Poverty
Tossed in the fire.
has been. Yep.
Ow. Oh,
Threw you into the fight.
It's okay. It's just like any new job. They're supposed to quote unquote train you, but instead they just throw you in the fire.
And then they're just like, all right, just go from there. It's literally every job I've had so far. Just,
You'll-
you'll just get used to it.
you'll work it out.
It's true.
Right. So you had encountered the assassins and their leader, who Poverty had joined along with, and discovered what they were up to and out for, and they were looking for something. And as Poverty surmised, the fighting outside against the vicious trolls was not much more than a diversion planned by the assassins. However, they had not accounted for the party, you guys, to have been there, and they had kind of underestimated having Poverty in their midst as well. Aside from their leader, who expected some sort of treachery to go down, and almost got away with it too. Were not for you meddling adventurers. But yeah, every
That
man
sucks.
was cut down or knocked down, and those who survived were killed off by their leader in a, leave no traces kind of attitude. That being said, you guys had quite a terrifyingly difficult duel against the man, as he, nearly chopped you guys good with his shadow blade, or shadowy blade. And
Yeah, not being able to see anything was kind of sucky.
Yeah, his blade of darkness and his darkness effects made him quite the opponent. However, you were able to discourage the fight, and he had turned tail and fled the scene. And the sword was left in your possession, unbeknownst to the good lady, Yvonne. The
Yep.
mansion is safe and secure once more, and no trace of the of any assassins or any would-be pursuers seem to be around. Lady Agnir confronted Sir Alric regarding her own investigations, as it had turned out she was actually out looking for Alric and looking to basically give him the business about some rather unscrupulous practices he had been performing on his initiates. And he was taken care of and dealt with. Poverty was able to find and was able to bring Malik back with her, actually meeting in Valvederia instead of returning him to Brosnov. And so all is well, and you all gained a nice new little well, I guess bastion carriage without the bastion insignias drawn upon them.
Yeah.
So there's that. I think that kind of sums it up for our last session.
Yeah, pretty much.
There wasn't too
We were
much.
just heading back.
Yeah, it was just kind of a lot of fighting and not a lot of stuff in the way of RP. I don't remember if you guys kept any other weapons from the armory after you had opened it up.
Just
Kept the-
Yasha kept the +1, like it basically is a quarterstaff with an iron bar.
Yeah, it's a quarterstaff made of iron, so it doesn't break as easy, and it's a +1. Yeah.
What?
What are you knocking?
No. What? Sorry, my mom was just like, is somebody knocking? I was just like, no.
Knocking.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just let her do what she wants.
Fair.
But yeah, that was the only thing we took from the armor besides the sword. Mordrin gave back her mace. So
Nice. Okay. So you took the sword and you took the iron staff, and that was it.
yep, that was it.
Cool.
And also technically I have a fairy tale book, but that's
Ah, yes, the fairy tale book. The thing everybody forgot about.
not
Including the
Mordrin.
DM.
Well, technically not me because I have an entire fucking list. I'm
Yeah.
basically the note taker of the campaign.
Glad someone is.
Alrighty.
I have something.
Which brings us to tonight's session. It won't be too long due to time constraints, but we'll see how much we can get done.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a little caravan. You have your one cart full of your 12 crossbowmen in the back, and then you've got your nice new knightly carriage essentially ahead.
Yep.
Before you depart, is there anything you guys would like to do before you leave the estate? Roland says it'll take less than a day's travel to go back to Valvederia.
Mordrin praying to no god at all that something actually good happens. That's it.
What the heck does that mean?
That poor bastard. He really doesn't know what's coming to him. Anyways, anything else?
No,
Don't
I have
don't
nothing.
believe so.
I don't know.
Me and Malik are just getting in the cart, getting ready to depart.
All right. Well, with that, the lady does kind of come out and gives you a sending off and a thank you, and she says that she hopes to see you guys in the future, and wishes you well on your travels and on your future battles.
Yay! Thanks. Except Mordrin doesn't say it like that because that's not Mordrin.
Yeah.
But imagine him saying "Yay! Thanks."
Everyone be
Thanks.
like,
Honestly, Mordrin could sprout wings and it'll be less weird than him
You're not
doing
wrong.
things.
it would be less weird.
Mm.
Now would be like, oh, okay. Seems legit. Mordred being Mordred again.
Mordred being Mordred.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she definitely will see us again. Well, probably at least me.
Maybe.
Oh no, it's a guarantee.
You plan to return that book at some point, yeah?
Well, not only that, but oh god, Mordred does feel bad for stealing from her, so he will pay her back eventually.
What a good Samaritan.
Good Samaritan indeed.
That's one of his flaws.
Hold on. I need to link these real quick.
Only Mordred would consider that a flaw.
Yes.
Alright, so it's not a very comfy carriage, like the interior the interior of it. There's not too much room, so if there is a back area outside that you can hang out, essentially there's enough spots for actually I think it'll be enough spots for you guys, but you do have Malik. So it'll be,
True. And didn't Rowan want to come on as well?
Roland is your driver. So Roland is in
okay.
the front. He's driving
he's
your
like-
guys' carriage. He's like, I'm coming with you.
He's like, all right, fair enough, bye, dude.
Where's the So
I'd be fine with sitting up in front with Roland if there's room.
hanging out with Roland. There's plenty of space up in
Yeah.
the front. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
'cause
fill up something.
it's like a four-man interior, but it's really really cramped even for four people.
Mhm.
Yeah. Poor Poverty has to deal with grouchy Mordrin. Oh god.
Yeah. So it'll be Poverty and Malik in the inside with Mordrin, and then Lamine up front with Roland. I'll presume that Yasha, while not present, is hanging in the back of the coach.
Actually, I think he literally said he was going to be on top of the coach.
Yeah, I
So
think
yes.
Perfect. It'll be on top. We'll just be hanging on the roof of it. Alrighty. Just go ahead and transition to that.
Yeah.
So, you make your way across this winding, forested path. Poverty, you're not too familiar with the south roads past Brosnov and closer to Valvederia. So this area is a little very green for you, actually. Come to think of it, you're more used to the underhive of Brosnov's I cannot talk tonight. Sorry. It's city and structures. It's sky high buildings, and it's
Cobblestone.
yeah, cobblestone, clouds of smoke. So this feels a little different to you. The air is very breathable for once.
Yeah.
So you've a moment to yourselves if you wish to discuss. Lamine, you as well, if you wish to speak with Roland on anything. He does kind of inquire regarding what was going on exactly with those men that broke in, as he didn't really know too much about what happened.
Oh, yeah, I'll give him the rundown.
Yeah.
At least from my understanding. Because I don't know too much about what Mortar and Yasha and Poverty went through. Only, like,
That's true.
the vaguest understanding of, like, something happened. And then
Yeah.
they came to where I was protecting the lady.
Yeah.
protecting
Is there a
And-
way for a basic? Oh, sorry.
the everything after that, I can, describe, like,
Yeah.
so I was there.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, it's just like the other three were off doing something. And
Question
then
mark?
they're
and suddenly we got a new party member.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Here's the
They
adoption
went off by
papers.
themselves, and then came back with a new person with assassins on the trail. So,
he is genuinely like not concerned but confused at why there's like two more people and one of them's a knight. He's just like, so any reason why I have one of these hooded folks, one of these hooded gals from Brosnov, and this knight in the back with us?
Is there any way for Mordarin to like basically speak to the front?
It's pretty easy to overhear the conversation.
Yeah. Mordarin,
not
even though
working, like,
he's
yelling.
tired, he'll probably give the other side of the essentially the conversation of Mortar just casually being like, yeah, there is like 6 people. One of them happens to be Poverty, and our goals just aligned.
For now.
But
He kind
for
of looks.
now.
He kind of looks at you rather like puzzled, like okay. He's just like, well, I've heard of weird team ups before, but I'll work with it, I guess. The adventuring
let me
folks
just
are
put your hands
strange.
on that.
Look, I might have been dead if Poverty didn't intervene, considering there were 6 assassins, one of them being Poverty,
Fair.
and I was by myself. I can imagine Lamine hearing that, just being like, God damn it, Mordarin.
I was about myself. Of course you were.
Yasha found me, eventually.
Demon.
At the very least, it's good that
You too.
it's at the very least, it's good that everything worked out at the end. Yeah.
Got dicey, but yes.
Yep. Just a little, concerning, all things considered. That wasn't even it wasn't even a day ago that I was putting my gun to another knight's head, and well, we had a run-in with assassins. Well, not so much me, but you get the idea. Two people of the sorts who've been rather unsavory that we've dealt with before are in my coach. So It's not that I'm close-minded, but it never hurts to ask.
Got to fight trolls though. I don't know if that's much of a consolation, but
Well,
it's either that or assassin.
my fighting wasn't too great. I didn't do too much aside from directing. It was that lady knight that did most of the fighting for us.
Yeah, I saw the end of that. I'm glad she was there.
Oh, that wasn't even the best one. And he points out, he kind of talks about how Lady Agnew is just like, by God, I do not want to get into a fight with her ever.
I think we're all in agreement with that. It's like, that's really. I'm glad we did not fight.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're on outside.
For
Yeah.
now.
He does make mention on the that she is a knight of the she's a kingsman, a knight of the rock, which kind of he decides to kind of he asks if you guys know anything too much on Knight of the Rock.
Probably not.
Probably only what you explained last week of what. I actually don't know about Knight of the Rock. I know you talked about what the Kingsman is.
It's
Basically, Knights of the Round Table.
the best of the best of the king's knights. Yep. And after seeing Agnir out there, it's that tale holds well to the truth. In any case, oh,
I'm needed.
Oh.
alrighty. In any case, he does kind of go off and mention just like typically there are only each of the great orders have just 2 of them, so I dread to think what the other Knight of the Rock will be. If Lady Agnir is one of them.
Morderin just hopes we don't run into them, but Morderin also is like, I'm under no circumstance to think that we are absolutely so lucky that we're only going to meet this one Kingsman that will never ever show up again in this entire thing.
Sure. It's important to dream happy dreams. In any case,
Especially for Morderin.
in any case, he does mention that there's only 3, or he really knows. Now he knows, which is Lady Agnir, which he's met, in the flesh. He knows about the prince, but then he says everybody knows about the prince. He's just like, it's like, everybody knows who the prince is. So, and he is one of the Kingsmen, and probably the most feared of all of them. Well, in terms of fighting,
I mean,
he's not a scary dude. He's more like, if you ever have to fight him, that's when you'd be fearful.
I mean, if you're given the name the Prince,
Yeah. Well,
in an order of knights.
It's not just the title. He is the prince of the current crown.
Then yeah. Yeah.
And while his father may be more of the executive type, the one his fighting days are kind of more behind him than anything. The prince definitely holds his father's vigor in terms of combat prowess. And then the other one he knows about is one that kind of goes by as the Warden of Brosnov. And he's never met this so-called Warden of Brosnov, but Morderin, you kind of catch a little, actually Morderin and Poverty, you sort of know a little bit of the Warden of Brosnov, and it never dawned on you that it could have been a Kingsman that could inherit that title. But he does to fill out the others. The Warden of Brosnov is essentially like this big guard. Essentially, they're much like the other Brosnov higher up like factions, and they're run by the knights indirectly. In fact, the warden themselves is very much kind of like they don't really do anything. Like they haven't really been seen or heard from, but they know of them, and there are a lot of people affiliated with them, and they tend to be the ones that are in charge of making sure the ships come and go, and what ships come and what they bring and what they go and what they leave with.
Yeah.
And it never really dawned on you up until how he explains it that the warden is easily going to be one of the Kingsmen, and that he believes it's
Wonderful.
one of the other orders. The oh god, I always forget their names. Hold on, where are my notes at?
Don't worry, me too.
Where is that order? The Order of the Rose.
The Order of the Rose.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, welcome back.
So just to catch you up, he's just talking about how, Roland only knows really three, quote unquote, Kingsmen off the top of his head, which is Lady Agner, the Prince himself, but that's kind of a given. He's just like, everybody knows that the Prince is one of the Kingsmen. And he's probably one of the most, he's one of the greatest of the Kingsmen. And then the last one, he says, and he doesn't say it like, oh, it's definite. It's just like everybody, it's more of like, it's a rumor, but this is his sort of claim that he believes that it's this guy. It's known as the Warden of Brosnov. And he explains, since you're not from Brosnov, but Mordorin and Poverty kind of know that Brosnov has a number of underground factions and political factions, all sorts of that.
Mhm.
One of these factions is known as the Warden of Brosnov, and they never really handle anything directly, but they have guys everywhere, and they tend to work at, anything shipping related, coming and going into the city, goes through his guys, or her guys. Nobody knows anything about the Warden of Brosnov, aside from he runs the ships. He is the port authority, and he's talked about a few things that have happened, kind of a few legends that have happened with the Warden and how he has a lot of power. Or they have a lot of power. Particularly with, he's able to basically lock down the entire port in Brosnov on a whim.
Oh,
Supposedly.
okay.
Supposedly. It's an
Does he-
alleged thing. It's more so like hearsay and rumor than, oh yeah, this one time it happened. This is like, it probably happened. He can probably do it. The Warden probably has that level of influence, supposedly. But
Oh boy.
Is he involved in the slave trade as well, or knows about it?
Ooh, good question.
nobody knows.
Ah.
Roland could
Well,
probably.
if he's foreseen all the ships going in and out of the city,
It could very well be that the Warden might be behind it, or it could be that it's just someone who's actually able to undermine him.
Which,
So,
if he's a Kingsman, is unlikely, so...
who knows? Sadly, nobody really knows that well because,
Secretive.
like Roland mentions, the Warden is a very secretive person, and a lot of information that he even tells you is not really reliable information. This is his sources is, it's totally legit, trust me guys. That's about as reliable as a source is on this.
Yeah.
I read it on Reddit.
I read it on Reddit.
Yeah.
I saw it on a forum that was posted 6 years ago. That kind of level of source reliability.
Huh.
That's
Okay,
sort of,
I added a new note.
in any case, he does make mention that even still, the Warden might have an iron-fisted grip on the ships on the shore, but Brosnov is a very, very creative and adaptive bunch of folks, so
Unfortunately.
it's not likely that even an iron grip like the Warden can hold the entire city. Now with that being said, go ahead and roll me perception check, Lamine.
Okay.
Let's see.
Could have been better.
Yeah, that's good enough. You do kind of take notice. Yasha, who's been chilling on the roof, I decided to kind of roll on Yasha's behalf for this. But Yasha's been chilling on the roof, kind of keeping his head up to the, not the thicket, the clearing of the trees above. Kind of points out to something, and you turn your head skyward, and you notice there's something just up in the air, in the, whenever there's trees clearing out away from the pathway, you can see something up in the sky. It's hard to spot from a moment, as you're passing through and the trees kind of cover it, but there's something in the sky. You can't quite make out the details of it, however.
Quinset. Roland? You wouldn't happen to have a spyglass or something similar, would you?
Alright. He kind of looks up and he's like, what? Why?
Direct his attention to the dot.
Give him
Margarine
advantage for
hears this and just contemplates
shut
if a sleep spell would work on him for a brief moment.
I'm about to flip this whole carriage. It would probably only work on him, actually.
You would knock out Roland and the 12, the
horse
12 guards and the horses. The 12 guards that are assigned to guarding you.
Oh god, the horses. It would go to the horses first.
Oh yeah, it would knock out the horses.
They only have like 11 HP.
Like, all right, guys, I'm just gonna knock out this horse. It's fine.
Go to knock
You're
out
right.
yourself, knock out nothing but the horses. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Well, nevertheless, Roland produces a spyglass, a really small pocket spyglass that he has in his vest, and he looks skyward with it, and kind of like looks around, and then murmurs to himself, "Oh no," as he
Oh no, what?
puts away his spyglass. I think I know what's up there. And
Please tell me it's not hostile.
it might not be hostile.
Might?
Might.
You know what? That's the best news I've heard all day.
And with that,
Might be
he
better.
will. He's gonna make an animal handling check. Let's see how good you are, Roland. Ooh. Okay.
Gonna make sure she has her crossbow out.
Alright, you break for the trees for a moment. Roland kind of like says, "Hang on, let's see if we can get us into some cover." And he kind of like, he whips his little the reins a little bit just to sort of prompt the horses, and they go a bit faster, and the ride gets a bit bumpier. In fact, roll me some reflexes to make sure that you guys don't go
Dex.
bumbling out. And that counts for the people inside too, because this is a bumpy road. As he's
Oh
like,
boy.
you might actually like pile out of the cart.
I was
the
about to
carriage.
that.
I'm
Alright.
sad about that nat 20 not being a thing, but it's a 10 for me.
What do you
So-
roll for reflex?
It's a deck save.
Yep.
Sorry, I have to translate D&D every so often.
Yeah.
Old D&D.
I was about to ask if it was dex save or dex
Dex
check,
save.
but then I remembered it doesn't matter for me.
It is a dex save.
Don't get tossed out the door.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
I will do my best.
Alright, I will roll for Malik. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you're able to just barely hang on, but you're able to keep into the
God,
keep in
we
the
should have some strength to this
coach.
ride.
Yeah. Roland kind of startled the horses a little bit, and they're a little bit out of control as they're pulling the cart or the carriage along.
Do you not know how to drive?
He's just like, I
He does. I just don't think he cares right now.
think he's more concerned with taking cover.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
He did say hang on.
Yeah. That was.
Howdy
Oh,
just in
I
the
touched
back,
the puppy tail, and the
chilling.
puppy's
Hang
now
on,
here.
starts bouncing around. Like, what the fuck is happening up front?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
basically.
trying to sleep back here.
I'm on edge, man. There's a ton of knights around me, and I do not like them at all.
It's just the one knight. Nobody here's a
Well,
knight. It's all these guys are all mercenaries.
oh yeah, we're all mercenaries now. Basically, Malik's the only knight.
Yeah. The crossbowmen that are
Yeah,
with you are mercs. They're not knights.
yeah. But I can understand
It's the
your
same thing to me.
yeah, but I understand your anxiety
Mm.
for for much different reasons, but understand.
This time perception
I have
checks
a
are
pop.
no longer needed. However, you do hear something. This is a familiar sound to you, both Poverty and Mordorin, as you hear
No.
the hum and whoosh of something overhead, and you see a fairly large shadow cast above the tree lines, almost passing over you guys. And the sputtering of an engine and the heavy smell of the
Oh,
familiar Brosnov air suddenly like surrounds you, as something just like cruises maybe 80 feet above your heads. You're not able to catch too much other than a shadow, with the trees kind of covering most of it, as it sort of passes horizontally above your heads.
No poppy.
why?
Is it an airship?
It is indeed an airship, and Roland quietly mutters, like, "The hell is this thing doing out this far south?"
I have a puppy giving me
I.
her baby eyes, so I gotta go take care of her. Really quick.
Alrighty.
Okay. Murdering at this point just kind of goes. I just hope that for whatever reason, that this just happens to be a happy coincidence,
Mm.
and it might not be here for someone or something here.
Mm.
Am I able to make out that it's an airship?
Um,
Or
you're able to kind of come to the conclusion that it is an airship of sorts, and it's fairly big. You're not able to get too big, like you're not able to get too much of a size. You're able to guess it's something of 100 to 150 foot long vessel. Whatever it is, it sounds really big, like like pretty top, like not long lengthwise, but height-wise, it sounds big. Um,
Yeah.
would I know it? Being from Brosnov?
Your knowledge of airships, while you know something, you do know that there are a lot of variants in sizes, and there may be, you might not necessarily know of a particular one. And given the fact that you're only able to see a shadow of its profile, it doesn't really give you much to go off of. Cause it just sounds like it's a big old airship, but you won't be able to know, like, which particular one it is, other than it's something big looking for you guys, or presumably looking for you guys, given that it's like it just got closer to you guys.
Murdering at this point is just like think happy thoughts.
I grab Malik and I'm like, get down.
You are in the coach, so not
Yep.
really much cover to take other than, kind of ducking your heads.
Yeah.
But you kind of instinctively are just like, you kind of grab Malik and you're just like, keep your heads low, and almost forgetting that you are in fact in a coach. You're like, oh yeah. This thing does pass overhead, and it just sort of like, you could still hear it nearby as its sputtering engines just seem to echo in the woods now. And Roland is just like, oh god, I freaking hate airships. Okay. He does turn to you guys like, alright, well, I know I'm good on, it's like, I know if we're up to me, I'd probably have us get out and take cover, but they might still spot these carriages.
How far are we away from the city?
You've maybe half a day's travel in, so it's just only a little less than half a day's travel. So probably about 2 hours out from 2 hours out from the city walls.
We're not against walking, but looks at all the stuff we have. Just.
We should continue on. The quicker we get to the city, the better.
Alright. I'll see if we can try and sneak past these guys, move in quietly, but I don't know how well I can conduct these horses to move quietly, even in these conditions. Let's just hope we can move quieter than their engines and be
I'm back.
harder to spot than their spotters. So, I'll be rolling stealth rolls for this caravan. And the...
Oh god.
Oh boy. Puppy,
Oh
no.
no. That's
Yeah.
not a good roll.
Mordred was gonna just,
Yep.
like we could literally just go on foot.
No.
We could. We don't need to take the carriage at the same time. It's just like, damn it. But yeah, go ahead. No.
So you guys want to continue with that then? Let's continue with the caravan.
Could we, like, put some, like, tree branches and stuff over it? Try to disguise it?
Moving tree.
Could, but they.
I like that.
You'll
I
have
mean,
to,
from high up, it's going to be hard to tell if we're
Yeah.
moving through tree lines.
Yeah, because this thing is sitting above the tree lines trying to spot you guys. You can attempt to pull some fallen branch or pick up fallen branches and kind of throw it over the top of the coach and caravan.
And leaves.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me. What would this be? I guess a nature check.
Oh, God.
As you try
Why
to gather
that?
some. That seems right.
Yeah. I technically could help,
Oh.
but okay, no, you got it. You got it. You don't need help.
Alrighty.
As this conversation is going on, Mordred's just going to pray everything works out and continue just to write in his notebook.
So with
Because
that,
somebody still has to give the report.
you'll be giving the caravan advantage for their stealth rolls, so they'll have a better chance at hiding. However, it's still trying to sneak two carts essentially across a road. So Roland will do his best, hopefully, and we'll see if the airship might give interest or notice you guys or not. Ooh, okay, that's good.
Hey, I like it when the DM says that's good.
All right, now for the airship's turn. Ooh, all right. So, the airship does another pass. Roland halts the caravan quickly as it comes around, and it kind of like it looks like it's scanning around the road ahead, and it doesn't seem to have noticed the caravan just yet. So I will do this 2 more times, as the ship prepares to make another horizontal pass. That's average. We'll see if the ship will spot you.
Blow that ship out of the sky!
I don't think you
I
guys have the
wish.
armaments. Unfortunately, as you
I have a crossbow.
I don't think it'll be enough. You are able to get a better look as the thing kind of makes another pass at you guys. This time, as it passes by, you catch a glint of light like something's reflecting off of the top deck, and suddenly you hear shouting. The shadow that's sort of scans above the skies, seems to stand still, and it does a quick sharp turn, and then it lowers itself into an open space on the road. You hear more shouting come from the airship, and the ship actually lowers itself to where it's like somehow this huge thing. Let me actually bring up a picture real quick onto the stream and here into chat. This thing is able to lower itself down to like almost touching the ground as it finds a spot, and it's like maybe like 15 feet off the ground, and you can see on the underside of the ship a small array of guns trained in your direction. Let me bring this.
Deep size all around.
Yeah. This thing is also like
Um,
maybe 30 feet. Yeah, it spotted you. Roland rolled like an 11 and a 10. The thing rolled like an 18. So it's just like, alright, it sees you.
Yep, and Morton just gonna continue to keep writing.
Yep.
Because at this time, he's so done.
Here it is. So it almost looks like a junk ship, like a Chinese junk ship, except its underside is full of patched armored parts, and there are various like portals with cannons affixed to them. You see a pair of guns just from a pair of carronades just sort of fixed on the side of the hull. It's not too big, but it's like its top end is pretty big. Definitely has a lower deck, at least one lower deck, which is fairly big as far as airships go from Rosnov. As your knowledge of airships go, they tend to be like a little cockpit or like a little one, like no deck, or just like a top deck with like a balloon or something affixed to the top end or an engine fixed to it. So for this thing to look more like a ship and less more like a platform with, with engines fixed to it is definitely telling that this is a very nice ship. So this thing, I wouldn't say lands, but this thing kind of settles close to the ground about 30 feet from your caravan, and Roland immediately recognizes the ship, and he's like, oh god, I know this guy.
Is that
Pray tell,
Should we
who is
run?
this guy?
He's just like, well, we can try running, but I don't think that'll get us any closer to home, and I don't think we'll be able to outrun those guns, at least from this angle. From the top of the deck, you see on the railings several people just running around, just deckhands running around, like a small crew of them. A pair of dwarves jump up onto the rail-fixed carronades, and they train a pair of them onto you guys. Towards the prow of the ship, you see what appears to be like a cannon, but it's like 3 cannons, almost like a rotary gun fixed to itself, and you can see it almost like slowly turning towards you guys. From atop,
Yeah.
That means
see-
just like that's a lot of ordnance for just one freaking carriage.
Yep.
A carriage and a cart. It's like, look,
I'm almost done with my report, at least.
Yep. From the top end, you can see a fairly distinct dwarf, a man in a rather warm-looking like pilot's coat. He has a big old cigar in his mouth, and he has a pair of bright red pince nez just sitting on his nose, with the biggest, smuggest grin as he waves over and he says, "Hey, Roland, long time no see." The man is a bright blonded of hair with braids with almost like a dreadlock like braids, or dreads like braids fixed going across his shoulders, and he has a interestingly taken care of beard that kind of goes out in a spade and very angular as it meets itself almost like sharp edges towards the ends. And Roland is just like, "What do you want, Cheesebeard?" And of course, the man immediately is soured by the name. He's just like, "I told you not to call me that."
Weird.
But yeah,
God, I can imagine Poverty probably thinks Mordrin's insane because he's literally just writing in the back of the cart. While Poverty's probably like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
It's like,
yeah.
I don't have time for this. I don't know what's happening out front, but
So
I don't want it. I ain't dealing with
I'm
I'm
dealing
like
with it. Yeah.
so
I'm
to
like a
finish,
cat at your front door. As soon as it opens, like I want to bolt. Like I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
so
Mordrin, meantime, just calmly
to
writing.
kind of finish his compliment of how he looks. So he has this very Skyfarer's, almost this brown leather coat. Atop his head, he has a tricorn that sits on his head, covering most of his dreaded braids or dread braids. But yeah, he's a bit sour, but he grins, and you can see as he like puts his hands on his waist, like he's like, I'm a big man. He you could see a small fixture of or you could see the various handles of almost like Roland, how he has it, just almost half a dozen flintlock guns just strapped to his chest. As he says, he's just like, business as usual, eh, Roland? And Roland is just kind of gives the kind of still looking very annoyed. He's just like, what do you want? Don't you have some? It's like, don't you have some piracy to commit there, Gilbud? And
maybe get another gun.
Gilbud, Gilbud shakes his head and he's like, "Oh, I'm not here for anything, just business as well. But I've got some folks here that would love to speak with your guys." And from there, you see a man step out from the lower deck of the ship. Where is he? Actually, a few people stepping out. You see the drow assassin once more kind of climbing himself out
Yeah.
from the deck, and he's sitting up on the rails, like perched up on the rails with a crossbow trained to you guys as well. And another man steps up from behind him, and he sort of pats the guy on the side, and he's like, "Easy now." And it's a man dressed in a yellow garb, almost like a, well, hold on, I'll just show it to you. Very samurai-like garb. That's all I gotta say. I don't remember
Samurai
what the
like our.
I forget the name that it's called, but he has a yellow garb, very much just like the dude, how the dude looks in the image that I've put up. But he comes at you and he smiles, and he also has like a pair of shades on, similar to the dwarves. And he says, "Ah, yes. Well, my good old friend was having some trouble the other night, and well, all's well that ends well. At least you didn't get too far." And he actually steps off and onto the ground, very nimbly too. And he says, no need to get too rude now. And he sort of like turns back to the airship and sort of like waves it like, come on now, like put the guns away. And some of the guns sort of, they don't really stop aiming, but they sort of are slightly turning away. Like, okay, they're not aiming at you anymore, but they could very easily go back to if they need to. And he turns back to you guys. He's like, "Come now, who is the leader of this company?" And no, not you, goofy man in leading the horses. By God, I could hear you from from past these lousy engines.
I guess I'll go step down.
He It's you as you step out and approach the man, you're able to get a better look of him. It is a half elf. It is a squat-looking half elf, fairly short for his stature, and with bright green eyes and a rather smug smile across his face. He has a pair of swords on his side near his belt, and he has one wrist just resting on both of the katanas that he has on it at his side. And he greets you in a bow and says, "Ah, so you are so you're the leader of this bunch, eh? Well, you gave my friend quite the trouble."
Well, I'm glad. He gave us plenty of trouble himself. Did his compatriots.
Ah, I bet. Kaluk thought he could be smart enough to try and get that little sword for himself without our help, but we know Kaluk's a bit of a struggler when it comes to things that don't include cutting people's throats and leaving them dead in the streets. Ah, but yes. Allow me to introduce myself. You may call me Jin. Now, I think you know what we're here for, and it would be that sword. I'll
Oh my god.
cut to the chase. We have an important collector who is in desperate need of acquiring this heirloom and has paid us a large sum of gold to hire us all out for it. And while my compatriots here are less than compromising, I'd be more than happy to make a deal for this, if you will. Or even perhaps I would offer you a duel for it. I love a good fight, and given that Calyx already had all the fun, I would say perhaps it would be my turn, eh?
Peeps, can Mordorin hear this conversation happening from inside of the coach?
Yes, he's very loud and smug. In fact,
Alright,
you can all hear this.
okay. Poverty's probably going to have a mini panic attack because Mordorin will pull out essentially a very ornate rapier. And he just kind of like looks at it and just kind of like looks at Poverty just to be like, that this is what he's here for. And Poverty, I might be doing something really dumb right now, so you might not want to be in front of me.
Oh no.
Oh, why'd I get involved with this?
Yep.
All right. What do you do,
So I
Mordrin?
take heed and get behind her. What she's about to do.
Yeah, but no, continue on.
Lamine will be inquiring what exactly the terms between. If there's a difference in the terms with the deal and the duel,
Deal in the duel?
what they are. Because he seems to.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Was he implying that there was a distinction between like a deal to be made and a duel?
Yes, a
or they
deal
would-
and a duel. It's quite simple, really. If you wish, you can hand over the sword, and we'll be more than happy to give you a lift back to your home and leave you unscathed and unbothered and all that. You know, be merry and civil in all things. Or perhaps we can have a nice friendly one-on-one, you know. I'm not one to get into messy scraps, and I prefer my fights to be just very simple. You know, in Brosnov we have a very simple rule to keep fights quick and neat. It's called the Code of Chain. In the Code of Chain, there's a few little rules that we go by when it comes to, you know, low-level thugs and other small-time pushers. And that's to keep it quick and simple before the cops show up. What's with these updates? Damn.
Same
So
though.
fucking loud.
Don't pick him into that dog.
Anyways, sorry about that. In the Code of Chain, there are simple the fights are simple. We make one quick fight. First one to go down is the loser. Winner takes everything. In this case, it would be the sword. Simple as that.
How legit does this guy seem?
How legit?
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely doesn't come off. I mean, aside from this smug aura about him, he's pretty straightforward about you guys, or how he's talking. He's just like 1v1 me.
1v1 me, bro.
He does say, I will warn you, I'm very good at these things. And I've almost never lost. I've only lost once.
Hmm. Fine.
I mean, you are more than you don't have to follow by these rules. You're more than welcome to try and get shifty. It's only natural. I've seen it always happen in Brosnov, but know that I've come prepared for this, and know that I've come prepared to walk away with this with the sword in hand.
I certainly don't intend to give it up without a fight either.
Ah, good. I
Not if
love
I
a
can help
fight.
it.
Then you shall duel me then, yes?
That is what I'm agreeing to.
Ah, perfect. I think for this I'll use one sword. And then he steps away and he gives you a nice 15-foot space between the two of you, and gives you this very I'll let you go first. In fact, and he'll let you go first on the initiative order.
Oh, okay.
Hold up, I need to change songs real quick because this just got dicey.
Yeah, it did. Oh. Just letting you know, peeps. Just in case it has any bearing whatsoever, what Mordorin is basically planning is he's going to try to reenact the vision if shit goes south. Like if Lamine loses, Murderin is going to attempt to basically recreate the vision and try to make a portal, which will mean essentially using the sword.
Okay.
Oh boy. I don't know. I don't think I was around sticking top here or something for that, but okay. That sounds
Oh yeah, no,
like a lot.
we don't want Mordorin using that sword, but he will if he has to. The worst part about it, he also has disadvantage on everything right now, so
Great.
you definitely don't want him doing anything.
All right. Whenever you're ready. And all he does is he waits. He puts one hand on the hilt of the sword, and he kneels in a crouched position with the other hand just hovering above the hilt of the katana, and he's just like, "Go first."
God damn it, Lemmy, you and your noble tendencies.
He's about to bust out that Ayajutsu on you.
Yeah, I see that. Okay. Great axe, here we go. Yeah.
For this attack, he will give you advantage, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's definitely planning fucking something. Worse. 15 is better.
15? 15 will not hit. Just barely
That's a
missing.
motherfucker.
Yep. So, as you charge forward and race to strike him down with your axe, you suddenly realize that he's not there, and that he's actually just... What you struck down was just nothing, actually. He was right behind you. No, he was right next to you all along. He had shifted nearly in an unblinkable moment. He shifted for a second, and he smiles and says, "My turn." Ooh, what was your AC?
17.
Ah, you are lucky. Well, he swings back. However, despite the surprise that he caught you with, His blade moves in almost like a blur of light and just in a blur of light, and he swings upward, aiming for your arm and shoulder. However, the blade catches onto the chest plate instead, and it bounces, barely nicking you, but leaving nothing actually like lethal. And he's like, that's stronger steel than I expected. He then steps back and then does it again. He like steps back and sets his sword back into its hilt.
Okay.
While this is going, is there anything you guys want to do? Want to look at or do anything? Poverty? Or...
No, Mordrin is preparing for the fucking worst.
Preparing for Plan B. Alrighty. By the way, actually, Poverty, you know this. The Code of Chain this is actually a Code of Chain fight, and you may or may not have been in a Code of Chain fight before, but it's, you kind of know a bit about it. But the Code of Chain is kind of how to settle things, as Jin sort of explained, very quickly so that you don't get caught by the authorities. And it's rather than a big old gang fight like normally, you just have you send one of your best guys against one of their best guys, and then the winner just takes all.
Yeah, Mordrin probably has heard of it too, just indirectly from his brother.
Yeah.
But
you may know of them, but Poverty is most likely seen these.
More been in a few.
Yep, likely you've been in a few. Lost one, who knows? Well, you will know. In any case, this dude is like fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's why I'm preparing Plan B. And Plan B will not go well,
Right.
but Mordrin is willing to try it.
Lamine, you have advantage if you wish to attack him.
I do wish to attack him. Nice.
He swings back.
At least I didn't get the one.
Wow. Okay. Neither of you do hit each other as he rolls piss low as well. And he's like, "All right, that's 2."
I know. Quick and dirty, huh?
Look, he's fast and I'm armored.
He's just like, there's gotta be a crack in that armor somewhere. So he'll reset again. He'll be like, this is the last one, and then I'll be serious.
Gotta be a fucking crack in that knee. Same though.
Last one, then I'll be serious.
Oh god.
Is it back to me or is he doing something?
It's back to you.
God, this is the Alexander meme. It's just going forward and back and forward.
Oh my god, I'm about to cast a fucking spell so I can actually hit something.
He has advantage still, right? Or no?
You have advantage, yeah. He's doing his wind up, so you both get advantage against each other.
The 11 is the best thing I rolled so far.
That's a hit.
Oh, okay. I'm moderately surprised. Actually.
Yeah, that 16 will hit.
12 damages.
Nice. All right. Let's see if he hits back. Ooh, he does.
Oh, actually,
Let's see this
because hang on, Pete. I am gonna pump a smite in that as well.
Pump.
Did you hear me, Peter?
1 second.
Okay. Because I can do that now, and I need to not forget I can do that now.
Yeah.
Like
Let's hope
half
he
the
has,
reason why
like-
you take why you take
Yeah,
bonus
Sorry,
is
I'm
to smite.
was being dragged off to talk about something. Anyways, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I'm putting a smite through that.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
If only this guy has 20 health.
13 radiant damage in addition to
Ooh,
the
25
Oh.
in total.
that will hurt, but he does come back at you. And he hurts.
Yeah, I bet.
He hits you back for 18.
Alrighty.
So, you trade blows, and this time he finds you both find sort of an opening in each of your attacks, as you manage to cut and tear into a bit of his into his cloth and into flesh, but it's a trade he takes as he finds a weakness under your under your arm and cuts right into your exposed exposed armpit with his blade in another upward swing. This time actually catching you. He says, alright, not bad. Now we're getting somewhere.
No puppy. Oh. I'm fighting for my life right now.
He's like,
You're
alright,
cute.
as promised. And then he reaches for his other sword and sets them both away and has both hands on it, on his swords.
Fantastic.
Oh god.
How familiar are these guys with tieflings?
The Brosnov guys?
Yeah, the guy he's dueling specifically. Is dueling.
He may know about them. Tieflings are fairly common in well, they're uncommon in general, but they're fairly common in terms of like Brosnov. Not like, oh yeah, you can see them everywhere. That's more like elves and dwarves, and
Yeah.
humans. But you'll see tieflings more often in Brosnov than you will in
Anywhere else.
Puppy.
anywhere else. Yeah.
So I couldn't use thaumaturgy right now and try to scare them off.
Oh, that-
Might not be able to intimidate the lot of them with especially when they have an airship full of guns.
Yeah, I
Guns
feel like
can't
you're
hit
probably
ghosts though.
feel like you're pretty confident
Right.
when you have a dozen.
While Lamine is dueling and Mordorin has this idea in his head, Mordorin does actually kind of like turn to Poverty. He's like waiting for the results of the battle, and he just kind of goes, I myself probably can't use this sword, but you seem to know your way around a rapier.
Oh boy.
Was that your attacks, by the way?
No. I was waiting for whatever they were talking about. The first thing I'm gonna actually do
Okay.
as a bonus action is cast Healing Word.
Healing word.
Yep, on myself.
All right.
And also to your opponent. No, I'm just kidding.
No. And I'll go back in for another axe.
Nope. Fumbles. And he will react and strike
That's
back
the
at
second
you.
one.
With that one, he will
One
react and
for
hit
two.
you with Oh, you got another one? Roll the other
No.
one, yeah. Because you have advantage. Because he's winding up.
Oh, I still have.
Okay, you
Oh,
missed,
it's
but
not a
he
one.
doesn't have an advantage on. He doesn't have I'm going to get a free attack on you now.
Yeah.
However, with both katanas, he's going to attack twice.
Oh boy.
You wanna get
But yeah,
involved with that too?
Poverty. Yeah.
This one won't.
You good with a
hurt.
You better
rapier?
than I would.
There it is. That one hits.
Yes.
We might need it.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
We definitely might need it.
Hello.
Uh,
Can I have your what, dog?
25
So what's the
damage.
plan? Just fight everybody?
I'm glad I healed.
Yeah.
I'd be down if I hadn't healed.
Yep. He says, "All right, if you can survive this one, I'll let you have the sword." He chuckles as his strikes with both katanas. This time he's able to land 2 very telling blows in a very both together upward in the left and then swing to the right. And then he sheathes both swords back and he crouches back again. He says, "Tell you what, you're fun. I'll let you have this one in the sword if you live past this. But remember, gotta stay on your feet." And he crouches once more, and this time he has a much more serious look in his eye. He is focused.
Yep.
He takes an extra action to focus.
Can I use thaumaturgy to try to cause a tremor to make him fall?
Oh, you want to try to make an illusion?
Yeah, I want to cause a tremor.
Okay. What is the DC?
It should specify on your character sheet. Let me.
It'll be a spell
Go find
DC. Yeah, if you can.
It doesn't. Just says I can use it at will, and
Let's see.
I can cause harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute.
Ah, so you're gonna try and distract him then with that.
Or yeah, and to attempt to make him lose his balance since he's like crouched to attack right now.
Let's see. Spell thaumaturgy. Yeah, that will.
Alrighty.
Yeah, there's no DC save.
Go ahead and make a bluff check, or a deception check. My bad. A deception check
deception.
for that, as you're using You're essentially trying to distract him.
Whoops. 21.
21. Let's see if he buys it. You were able to distract him momentarily, just seconds before the strikes go. So he will lose his advantage, or he'll lose his advantage for this round.
It's good.
However, he is still focused, so he has a different buff on him. But no longer is he rolling 2 dice at you per swing.
Yep.
Alright, Lamine.
I
He's not at all concerned about a tremor coming out of nowhere.
He is, but not enough to
Maybe it's
not be focused on the sword.
It won't take him away from the fight. Perhaps not
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. It's more like, why is the ground shaking?
Yeah, I must be so powerful.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, go ahead, Lamine, and after I'll talk to Poverty about basically the sword.
can't decide.
So
Okay, why
he
you're
won't have
deciding then?
he won't have an advantage on you for this attack, but he'll have a bonus to his attack.
No. Then I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith and take the dodge action.
Ah, you're gonna dodge him?
And increase my armor class.
What's your AC then?
My AC is currently 19.
Okay, while that is happening, Mortarin basically will kind of give Poverty the rundown. Kind of, being
All
like,
right.
if
Here comes
things
the
have gone
swings.
south, if things have really gone south, are you okay with possibly, Lamine might be unfortunately caught in the crossfire, but
Thanks.
I would like you not to hit her. That'd be great. If anything, I hope you're okay with possibly hurting innocent people. Mortarin doesn't like. He says this, but he doesn't say it lightly. Like, and he's basically Poverty. Are you okay with essentially to not only save Lamine, but also the sword from going into a hands that it should not be going into. Are you okay with possibly hurting innocent people?
I just kind of look over at Malik. If he gets hurt, I don't get paid.
It'll be
Don't
the
hurt
people
him.
on the air. It'll be the people on the airship. I plan on having you, if things have gone south,
Oh,
for you
fuck
to
them.
use that sword.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair to say they're not quite innocent when they're all training guns at you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but
oh,
you
when
know,
you said innocent, I thought you were talking about.
but
It's
you know,
not
like
like-
the deckhands
okay.
and things like that. Like,
Oh, they've all come here with intent to harm you.
yeah. So just like, you okay with taking them out possibly? Because this sword has that power.
For it up to me, they'd already be dead.
I think you have
All
your
right.
answer more than.
So I rolled
Yep.
my attacks. Your
Okay.
defense blocks one blade, but another one catches you.
Damn it.
You were very close. Very close. And,
I'm pretty sure I've seen this exact scene in an anime somewhere. Several times.
Yeah.
Sam?
he is definitely Mr. Anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Mortarin gives
He
Poverty
hits
the blade.
you for 24 damage.
Yeah, that's gonna bring me down.
That's
Yeah.
downed.
Ooh.
Alright.
Poverty, you have the sword.
See, this just makes a rematch so much sweeter in the future.
So, what does it do?
It has the power
Use it.
to destroy
Do it. Do it.
armies. My assumption would be if it's able to do that, it can definitely destroy an airship.
Oh my god, are you about to throw an Excalibur over at us? Like, what are you doing?
Alright, well then, I'll use Thaumaturgy, and I'll use it to swing the carriage door open. And then,
If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna look badass.
yeah, basically.
Alright. So what are you gonna do with the sword?
Well, after I swing the door open, I walk out, and you can hear from Thaumaturgy, you can hear like ravens cawing in the background,
Hmm.
and my eyes turn like a deeper black, and I take out the rapier, and like I don't know what the fuck it does, so
You just like, go!
Swing!
yeah.
Roll me an Arcana
just-
check.
Okay.
Roll me an Arcana
I just
check.
kind of hold it up at the airship.
Can I possibly help Poverty with the Arcana check? Be like, we're both figuring this out to the fly over seats. Let's fucking go.
I will say, make a
Okay.
before you roll. Mordrin, I will make you make an Arcana check, and if you pass, you'll give Poverty advantage. You give a Poverty advantage. All right.
16.
You give
I like-
Poverty. You have advantage on your Arcana check.
I just
Oh.
love how these are just y'all eating their way through an ancient doomsday weapon.
Look,
So I have a question before I do that.
And I'm in front of them!
look, Mortarin basically is on the premise like we cannot give this sword over at any circumstances, even if we have to use it.
Yeah, that's fine. Lamine had no idea this could do this.
All right, Poverty, go ahead.
All right, here we go. Yeah, one more.
That's one. Make the other.
$20.
Oh boy. Let's see what the sword does.
We're gonna find out, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Poverty. You burst out from the carriage door, and you storm towards Jin, who is sort of backing off from the unconscious body of Lamine, and looks over. He's like, "Ah, my prize." The ravens caw overhead, and almost a darkening. The sky almost seems to darken out. Your eyes are blackened, and you step forward and you draw the rapier. And do you say anything before you sort of draw out your weapon and swing it? Or point
No,
it?
I'm just gnashing my teeth, my fangs.
Oh.
So, in
Murder
a-
at this point is just trying. It does something.
In a
for us.
feat of fury, you can almost feel like when you grab hold of the rapier in hand, you almost feel something from the rapier as it seems to like almost give off a magical energy, but it almost feels like something. It feels unnatural, like you're just holding something like it's the weight of the entire world around your palm, as you like direct it straight towards the airship, and as you do so, the line you make in pointing that airship is a bright straight line, and you almost hear this like whistling sound, almost like the sound of like a metal coin like violently tapping against a metal wall. And the line continues to just beam forward towards Jin. Jin kind of has this very like he's very quick to notice this and sort of sidesteps it, and he like turns around. It's almost impressive that he's able to actually see this because of how quick it moves. But he sees this thing and it moves in lightning fast, goes straight towards the airship, goes past the airship, and then
Ooh, boy.
and like suddenly it's just this. Oh shit, Squalla! Hey Squalla, hey guys.
Oh boy.
got a raid. So
oh hello.
it's almost like a laser like line that draws straight through and pushes straight through like a small part of the boat, and you don't see it, but it goes right out the other side, and it's just this like resonating, reverberating sound of metal like violently tapping like unnaturally, and all of a sudden it just gets louder and it almost like a tinnitus like ring, and then it just stops, and then just sound almost feels like it just compresses as everything between that line just shakes like it's just a sonic boom, and the part of that ship just blows a massive hole in it, and everything around it. Jin is just knocked straight into the air. As he was like very close, like he had to sidestep the line, so he's looking at it like right in front of him, and just the thing like explodes and sends him out flying, and the ship is also like pushed straight into the sky like 30-40 feet.
Oh God.
Yeah, this thing is just violently takes off into the sky. Poverty.
Oh god, this
Four.
raid.
You notice you are 100 feet past the boat now. You're on the other side of the ship. You look behind you and you see there's this wreckage. Like the pathway below is just this huge, like a huge dragged crater, like as if it's almost like an airline, like you know like how an airplane when it crashes it just like has this long drag line. There's just a huge
furrow in the
drag
earth.
line. Yeah, it's like a furrow, just a huge, neat drag line that just like it's just like carved into the ground. The horses on the
Oh,
coach
this one is
are
dope.
yeah. The coach is like shooken up, and the horses are in a panic, and they start to flee.
Oh.
And so Roland actually has to try and like calm them down, as like literally the sound of like a thunderstorm just explodes.
Too bad I don't get to witness any of
Uh,
this.
Nope.
Yep. Lamine, you are actually you're also knocked to the side. You're knocked into a
Nice.
ditch onto the side of the road from the sheer
Murder's gonna-
explosion.
Mortarin
I'll
is gonna
take it.
crawl out and attempt to find Lamine.
You know, considering what just happened, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then the sword just shudders back and is back to like almost like it's a regular sword. Like you're just kind of looking at this sword like, what the fuck am I holding?
yeah. Do I find Lamine, by the way? That's important.
Yeah, you see Lamine. You're able to kind of quickly find Lamine, who's kind of like off to the side. There are trees that were like standing straight. Now these are like slanted, and some of the branches are just torn apart. Like it's like a storm just hit through the area, and it's just nuts. It's just a huge mess. Like a tiny thunderstorm that was like incredibly violent just like passed through.
Is Jin still alive?
Jin is nowhere to be found. Homeboy was sent flying. So, you don't know what happened to Jin. You see the airship is kind of like off in the sky, and it's like, it looks like it's just sort of swaying in the air like it's trying to regain control. Because they don't even know what the hell just hit them.
Yeah.
You can see crew members like barely hanging onto the side of the airship, you know, dangling 50 feet and 100 feet in the air, just like holding onto the side of the ship trying not to fall off, because they don't know what the hell just catapulted them.
Yep.
But
We're
yeah,
going
it's
to
it's
get Lamine awake.
it's absolute pandemonium as you just unleashed something that hasn't been used in like 1,000 years.
Yo, nice sword though.
Yeah, nice find, guys.
I think this is a good
Anyways.
time to bail though.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Mordorin, you're able to find your knocked out compatriot.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm assuming I need to stabilize her immediately.
Yes.
I am indeed dying.
Yes, I know. I'm going to try my best. Unfortunately, 1, my medicine isn't good, and 2, I'm rolling a disadvantage.
God.
It's a 9.
I think
need
you
a
need a 10.
You needed that. At least you're not making it worse yet.
Yes, that is true. At least it's not making it worse, but
Yo, can Yasha come and help? Oh,
yeah, can Yasha come and help? Please?
Do you guys know Yasha's stats?
no.
I'm just
Fuck
gonna
no.
say that he just counteracts your
I
disadvantage.
could roll for him.
He's helping.
Okay. In that case, should I re-roll or just take the first one?
Just re-roll completely.
Oh god.
I'm gonna give you this one since
Okay,
you guys
you know what?
managed
I'll
to
give-
pull this shenanigans.
I'll take it.
You have no idea how dead set I was on being all like, alright, you guys are gonna lose this sword this session.
Mordorin had other ideas.
God damn.
Use it.
That was fucking clever. Alright then.
Time to run though, guys.
Yeah, you notice, by the way, ahead of you, Poverty's like 100 feet ahead of you guys from where she was standing at initially.
So did I like fly in the air or?
No, you
just
went.
teleport forward.
You literally like moved 100 feet like in a straight line, and everything in between where you started and where you finished just got like launched.
The vision makes more sense now.
Kamehameha.
Essentially, except you.
Murder just like oh
In this blade made you the bullets, and everything that basically was next to you just got fucking thrown by the sheer like force of how fast you moved. And you literally punched a hole straight through this fucking like wooden iron airship that's like, you know, meant for high altitude flying. You just crumpled it. This thing is not like intent on chasing you anytime soon. By the way, you guys have a minute before it like
no, yeah, no.
takes another action.
Hopefully the nat 20 might be enough to at least get Lamine up.
Oh yeah, you stabilized Lamine. You're
Alright,
able
yay.
to stabilize and bring Lamine back to consciousness for this. I know.
Yay.
All right, yeah. Just basically be like, you know, wake Lamine up. Hi, I just like move towards. Hopefully the carts are okay now. He made the horses calm now. Now that
Yeah.
the big bad noise
Roland
is
ruled
down.
high and the horses got calmed. So
Yeah,
he's just like, I'm not gonna ask questions. Let's get the hell out of here. And
yeah.
he books it.
Murderin doing everything he can to just be like, Lamine, just get in the carriage. Don't look at what I just had Poverty do.
Looks at what you just did.
There's just a big fucking
Nope,
wreck.
turn your head. Nope, we're going. We're leaving now, Lamine. We're
Yeah.
leaving now.
There's
And
just
Poverty, get in the van.
Look.
Poverty, get in the van.
There's no van here, but you know.
You know what I mean. Get in the cart. Get in the cart, Poverty. We're going.
All this power.
Oh no.
Malik this whole time has stayed ducked in this thing, and he's just like, what the hell happened out there?
Don't worry about it, Malik.
Good
Just
question.
we're safe now. And also, Poverty, give me back the sword.
Oh no, Poppy.
I kind of look down at the sword. I shake my head and I'm like, right, of course, and hand it over.
Yep, Mortarin takes the sword gently and places it back on his person.
We need to get the fuck out of here.
Yep, exactly what we're doing right now. And we all get into the carriage and we're fucking off.
Well, alright then.
Yep.
What was going to be a 2 hours trip ends up being an hour at most. As Roland is literally like, he's pretty shooken up by the fact that what he just witnessed as well, because holy shit. He's seen some crazy things back in Brosnov, but he's never seen anything like that.
I think Mortarin's actually the most sane person right now after witnessing that.
That means still trying to put two and two together.
I forgot to also mention, after using that Poverty, you have 1 level of fatigue, but I think it kind of makes things irrelevant, since you'll be probably relaxing.
I got a beer beat.
Alrighty.
Okay. Yeah.
You're able to make an expedient trip back to Valvederia, and you are greeted all the same by the guards at the gates. One of them makes mention, he was just like, huh, weird, I thought there was a storm coming by. And the other one's just like, really? It's a pretty bright day today. But that
Yeah.
I
aside,
am strong.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, our horses got spooked by that. Weird storm. Keep going. Bucky, keep going, Roland.
Roland continues the caravan, and he moves along and parks, and he's just like, right, I'm gonna go have a drink and forget whatever the hell we just had to deal with. And he, leaves you to your things.
Yep.
Malik gives you his thanks, Poverty, and he says he knows at the inn, the Golden Home, that his brother will be no doubt making contact with him. He's a little bit familiar with the Valvederia, and he knows a few things, so he's just like, I'll be okay from here on out. I'll be at the Golden Home.
Okay,
Farewell,
good. We will
Malik.
be at the Golden Home soon, but for right now,
You guys have
Poverty-
a lot of explaining to do for using that.
Oh, Mortarin knows. Oh, he knows. You just gonna say Poverty? You're just going to follow me, Lamine, and Yasha. And this once, everything's going to be under me because I gave you a very, very small description of what that sword can do. So all of this is going to be under me. So don't worry about it, Poverty.
I don't know what happened. I just pointed the sword and all I seen was destruction.
That, unfortunately, is the primary objective. But we will talk about
So-
this later. We have to meet our boss now. And I promise once we meet our boss, I can explain to you everything that's going on. So,
And with that,
yeah, making
we-
our way to the Mage's Tower.
So, since this is your first time in Valvederia, Poverty, you kind of are introduced at the gate of this very intricate city. Everything is very clean and bright compared to Brosnov's very brass and coal colors. There are some bright colors, of course, that you do recognize closer to the port side of the of Brosnov. However, they kind of pale in comparison when you come to this like luscious life of a city. Cobblestone streets, but don't feel hard on your feet. Um, Tall buildings that don't feel imposing. Life just seems to blend with the nature rather than kind of oppress it here. It's almost like day and night compared to the hustle and
I'm
bustle of
Welcome back.
Brosnov's tougher atmosphere. Um, you step towards the Archmage's Tower, this fabled tower that you've heard all about. The world knows of it. The tower is this not as big as you had imagined, as the stories go, is this mighty tower in which the Archmage presides in. However, this doesn't look very imposing or tall in the slightest. However, you didn't expect there to be several buildings kind of conjoined into this tower as you approach it. Its wooden make has a very to kind of describe it is it kind of has this like almost Dutch Germanic sort of thing. So there's like these stones with wood beams built into the buildings. You see a lot of really nice looking officials walking around near the tower. They're finely dressed, and even the guards have very like nice and bright uniforms and armor as they walk around. You do catch a patrol of knights walking around, but they seem to pay you no mind, rather than like the Brosnov's authorities, who kind of give you rather suspicious looks, and you're more accustomed to them kind of like approaching you and kind of harassing you rather than sort of giving you a more welcome and comforting sort of atmosphere. It's very different from the city you came from, for sure. As you enter in, you see more mages and more noble-like people within the first building that you step through. And the mages kind of like, they are also in rather fine-looking robes of various bright blues and reds and greens. Nobles tend to have rather stuffy-looking shirts rather than the slick and slim shirts, and they seem to kind of flaunt their money more here rather than how most rich folks, they have a very serious and slick look, but they don't appear to look like they could be, is easily robbable. You'd be almost tempted to just slip a hand into someone's pockets and grab a few coin at how easy everything looks here. The party brings you to the desk in which the one of the mages who recognizes you sort of waves you guys. He's like, Caiaphas is waiting for you, as always. And he kind of stops and looks over at you, Poverty. And he's just like, a new one? I wasn't expecting that. Interesting.
Yes, I wasn't able to inform Caiaphas, but he will be informed of why we have a new companion.
Kind of pauses and looks, and he's like, right. Okay, well, the acting archmage will be seeing you, and hopefully you guys will get you guys set up and everything.
Yeah. By the way, let me just let you know, Morderin basically saying that he's gonna handle it from here, essentially. Like, yeah, he's gonna. Yeah.
That's fine. Me just wants to go pass out right now. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, and he leads the way and to the garden.
Yep. So, Poverty, you are led into what is known as the Botanical Gardens. It is almost like the forest that you kind of came before, except filled with very interesting flora all over the place. You'd almost forget that this place was actually a part of the building, were it not for the structures holding the glass ceiling and the shadow of the tower sort of cast upon it. Within within the center of the area, you see the mages, some more of the druidic mages sort of take notice of you guys, and they start to clear out. And at one of the birch trees, you see the man himself. Let me actually bring him up on stream since this dude is done. As you.
Yep. He's done. We don't know what happened to him, but he's done.
He out of there.
Yep.
Damn. Where's my NPCs? There he is. All right. So sitting down beneath one of the trees with the in his red robes, he looks fairly tired, but he sort of brightens up when he sees you guys. He's like,
Oh, you're not gonna brighten up
you're
for very
back.
long.
And he kind of looks over and he sees you, Poverty. He's like, okay, you're gonna have to explain me this one.
I'm gonna have to explain to you a lot of things.
Yeah, it's been a day or so.
He
What happened in that
he
day or so?
begins things with the happiest point of when they left their journey. That was the
boy.
happiest part of the journey.
It's like, well, the best part of this journey was when we headed out. And he's just like, was coming back also great? Please tell me, yes. I'm worried
Mortar
now.
just ignores him and keeps going on with his report. Just keeps going on with the report. Yeah, we ran into some blackguards, but Roland took care of that. We came to the lady's house well enough. There also happened to be, oh my god, what the hell were they called? The fucking the
Knights
the
of the
Order of the Lion.
the
or whatever.
Order of the Lady.
Order of the Lady, yeah. Order of the Lady. Yeah. They were there too.
As you continue to tell your story, you can visibly see the growing concern on Caiaphas's face with each passing detail.
wait.
It gets better.
It gets better. And he's
One
like,
of them,
oh no.
One of them was a Kingsman.
Kingsman, you say?
Yes. Oh, but it gets worse.
Don't tell me the Kingsmen. Oh, he stops you and he's like, "Don't tell me the Kingsmen know about what we're doing, please. That's the last thing we need."
Okay, good. So we don't have the last thing, as far as I'm concerned, happen. But then, Badland Trolls decided to show up.
Badland Trolls? What the hell's going on out there?
Oh, it gets better. The Badland Trolls came with assassins.
He's at this point just like, okay, you have to start making this up. Please tell me you're joking.
Mortar just looks at you, and he just
We all
stares
look
into
at him
your
just like-
eyes.
I think we're all
Mortar
looking like
Oh no, you're not
Just as this-
joking.
this actually.
And one of them happens to be at the shows Poverty. This is Poverty. She's definitely involved at this point. And I'll explain why
He's-
she's involved at this
He's
point.
like, you brought one of the assassins with you?
Mortar
I'm
just
just
kind
as
of turns to
confused as
Poverty.
you are.
So apparently what happened, as far as I'm aware, is that you had a temporary alliance, but when you decided to break that alliance off and decided to kind of side with us for the time being. But now it's more of a you're siding with us sort of thing now.
Am I?
Which is where we get to the last part of coming back.
Okay.
You. Well, I guess that's related to.
Yep.
The
So a Brosnov airship found us.
Oh no.
Roland seemed to know them. Oh, and of course, the person on the airship happened to be one of the assassin's friends.
Did you
And
get
they
any
had
names?
some. Wait, actually, Morton did hear the assassin name. It was like
Calic. Yeah.
Calic. Yeah, so the assassin's name is Calic.
Okay. Well, that gives
And
me something to
then,
go off of.
and then there was a samurai-like person named Jin.
Oh no. These do not. These sound like rather high-paid mercenaries.
Yes, and they were being paid very handsomely to get this particular sword.
Oh no. Someone must have found out about these relics. Somebody talked. This isn't good.
Yep. Mordring at this point actually takes out the sword, so at least Cyphus knows that they somehow managed to get the sword here.
We still got it.
So how did you guys escape the airship then?
So remember how I said the beginning was the best part? This is when we get to the worst part.
What happened?
Lamine accepted a duel with the Jin guy, and basically said, winner takes all. Lamine lost.
Oh, great. But you still have the sword. What did you do?
We used it. Or rather, I used it.
You used the sword.
It was... yes?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You can clearly see the color in his face just sort of kind of fade as he's like, oh fuck. Did you kill anyone with it?
That remains to be seen.
He's just holding back. He's you can clearly tell he's very concerned. He's just he takes a second to pause, takes a deep breath, and composes himself. And he's like, okay,
Yeah.
what happened? Tell me exactly, point for point, what happened. When you used the sword? I need to know this. This is important, not just for the sake of this whole thing, but I need to know what the sword does.
Okay, so when you use it, there's it was basically a bright light, right?
Yeah. I can
Yeah.
take over from here, but you essentially describe the whole phenomenon as
Yeah.
as soon as the sword is drawn, just that pure, that straight line just cuts straight ahead in 100-foot line, and anything that as soon as it reaches that 100-feet line, the user just whoop is on the other end, exactly as Cyphus describes it, as just you're able to just cut right through in a fast dash.
Yeah.
When he said that it dashes fast, you didn't realize at the time that it wasn't you move very quickly. It's literally light speed, and everything in between is just absolutely,
Teleport.
more or less. Your presence is still there, so it's just you move suddenly at light speed and end at the other side, and everything in between those 2 points is just absolutely obliterated by your movement.
Yeah.
You do also describe that you do feel absolutely demolished with that as well because the sudden shock of being sent 100
By the
feet
way,
by
Mordorin is going to basically insinuate it was him that used it, not Poverty. So when he meant don't worry, this is all on me, Mordorin meant that literally.
that you just busted out the sword and did it, not Poverty.
Yeah.
Cyphus does turn and he looks at Poverty and he's like, you saw this. I mean, she knows. She knows what we're doing now, then.
Absolutely, which is why I said that she's now on our side.
Great. This is just great.
I'm not entirely sure I want to be involved with all of this. I just kind of got dragged in.
I'm so sorry about this, but Okay, look. Here's the thing. Let's start from the beginning, Poverty. Let's start from the beginning, and I'm going to discuss with you what's going on here, so that you can make your decision. However, understand that this is a very delicate and important thing that we're doing, and we really don't want people knowing about this. So we really, really would like for you to come along with this. I understand if you don't want to, because of what you have just witnessed and the people that you're dealing with. But if you do come with us, I mean, I am the acting archmage. I am able to provide you a large sum of money and comfortable living within the city, as well as certain other protections and benefits. So
yeah, it's pretty nice.
Do
We're like, yeah,
consider
you know
that
what? The benefits are pretty nice.
yeah. Do consider that there are a lot of perks for what you may consider signing on to, and you know, I hope that can outweigh
Oh
the
no.
situation you've kind of found yourself in.
Oh no,
To
I just
which
realized something.
what?
Lamine for the first time heard that Mordor used the sword. Oh no.
Well, in any case, Cyphus begins to deliberate about what the party's mission and what he's basically brought these guys in, and extends the offer to you as well. He says that he is conducting a very hush hush, very under everything is under the table, like nobody knows about this kind of deal, of retrieving very very dangerous artifacts. Now, 1,000 years ago, there was a huge war. It was known as the Burning War. History has been erased of this war, much to the point where nobody even knows it even happened. It was so far back that only a few people, including myself and the actual Archmage himself, who has been there. He was alive during this war and was the reason why it ended. um, there were weapons of destruction. Many of them were destroyed, many were lost to time. However, they were all thwarted by the Archmage's magic of just being able to just shut them off, essentially. However, the Archmage, given that this was 1,000 years ago, and he was able to, like, stop this 1,000 years ago, he's getting long in his years, and the magic that is suppressing these doomsday devices is beginning to wane. And while there's historically there's many of these that are gone and destroyed, there's still a bunch that are out there, and they're out in the wild. And for the good of the realm, we want to contain these and make sure that they don't fall into anyone's hands, because politically speaking, we're in good relations with everyone, but anyone, including the Bastion Knights from the Southern Island, to Brosnov's top crooks up north, are more than antsy to get a leg up on anyone else and starting this war over again. And he fears that if anyone gets their hands on weapons that can do that, that display of destruction, will take advantage and will easily use that to try and gain leverage, or even start another war as devastating as the last one. And that weapon, that very blade, is only on the lighter side of devastating things that happened in this war.
Yep.
So he says that if you wish to join us and swear by this, you are more than welcome to. You were entitled to being basically as big of a hero or as an unsung hero as you'd like. The money will be good, the life will be good. All you need to know is you're out on a secret mission of retrieving weapons of absolute annihilation and war. So that's
And you're
kind of
sure
his.
the safest place for these weapons are here?
There is no place more fabled and legendary than the vault of the Archmage's Tower that can be a more protective place. On top of that, we've been working into finding ways to permanently shut down some of these weapons and destroy their magic so that they may never be brought back at all. In fact, our latest artifact we've brought in, I've been working at in my spare time to seeing if I can be rid of the ancient magics.
Sounds like a very noble quest.
Yep. One that
To
will no
stop
doubt go
the
thankless, but I'd rather have a thankless quest done than a ruined realm.
to stop the world's destruction.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Although my world is shattered years ago, I don't
Okay.
much care for fame nor money. I do this for a reason. The only thing I ask is you make sure my little sister, Ophelia, is taken care of. For all I know, she's still in the sewers of Brosnov.
We're more than welcome to bring her here to Valvederia's homes. In fact, we can set up a permanent residence for her and yourself within the Golden Home. And if you're not quite convinced, you're more than welcome to staying there at my cost. Your fellow comrades who you've traveled with can more than vouch for their experience at the inn. The place is like a second home, really.
It's
Make
fair.
sure she's safe, and my aid is yours.
Very well. I can dispatch for someone to look for her.
Mordrin just kind of thinks about it, and he just says, I think I might know somebody who could find her.
Who's that?
Yeah, Poverty just looks at her inquisitively.
Mordrin actually looks curiously over at Cyathus when he asked him like who it would be, and he just kind of like tilts his head and just like, really, Cyathus? But he just kind of decides, just says, my brother.
Oh. Well, if you'd like, you're more than welcome to establish contact and see if your brother can't find Ophelia here and bring her to Valvederia safe and sound. Valvederia has never dealt with anything on its walls in since the Burning War, to be quite honest. And no threat from inside or out has ever crossed this place. And we take great pride in that. Even the Brosnovs, who regularly work to undermine our security, have yet to penetrate these walls.
For now.
For now. But, you know,
Yeah.
it's nice to boast, and it's not that we slack. We have the best mages, and they decided to turn against magic in that aspect, rather than use it and undermine the magic ways, and rather than seek to explore it. Rather close-minded of them, if I take my word for it.
Yep.
In any case, will you join us then?
Yes, as I've said, make sure Ophelia is safe, and my aid is yours.
Perfect.
How
Well,
old is your sister, by the way? I just want to know out of game. Like, how old is Ophelia?
I don't. She's. Hold on. Let me see.
Okay. Yeah. This is important given Mordrin's brother.
She's 19.
Okay, she should be safe then.
Cyathus also does stop, and he's like, "Did Roland happen, or any of his men happen to catch any of this?"
Oh yes.
Yep.
I'm going to have a
Yes,
word with the man
absolutely.
and his troops.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
they
But that
definitely
will
saw
be
that.
something
yeah,
I will handle.
Mordrin will tell him where he saw him last.
Very well. I'll handle him and his troops personally. From this point on, don't ask him or his men about what happened this day.
Don't worry.
Perfect.
Thumbs up.
Very well. I'll handle this directly then. Well, you've the day to yourselves. I'm sure after a shocking event like that, no doubt you'll need some rest.
Yeah, I'm pretty tuckered out, I have to say.
Yeah, especially since Mordrin didn't sleep last night. But before he dismisses us, Mordrin does say he has one more thing, and it's something he doesn't want anymore, and Cyathus can do with it what he wants.
Which is?
I'm going to use the cantrip Encode Thought, which basically, TLDR, he's going to pull a memory from his mind, give it physical form, and essentially give it to Cyathus.
Alright.
Yeah. And the memory is the vision.
I see.
Yep.
Alright, well. So, he will look into this, look into this, when he has the time. But he does stow it away. And he takes the sword and he says, this...
Just letting you know, when the string basically is touched, it disappears and it enters the person's mind. So,
so he has the memory.
he has
Okay.
it. Yeah, he has the memory. But just FYI, Mordrin no longer does.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So he has this memory. He's like, This is very, very strange and interesting. Alright, well, I'll be sure to consider that into my research for this. For now, I'll have the sword, and I'm going to take a look
Oh
at this
yes,
before I dispose of this weapon.
absolutely. You fucking get it off of me. Gordon is all too happy to just give it over to him.
Perfect. In any case, I think that leaves us with everything that we need to take care of. You are, for the time being, dismissed. Poverty. I wish I could give you a much warmer welcome than this, but given the circumstances, it's things have become a little urgent. So forgive me for being short on the courtesies of Valvederia. But welcome to the good city, and I hope that you find yourself in a good comfort and a good atmosphere, because every little bit of relaxation is gonna be needed, at least for me, to deal with what you've just told me, and I can only imagine what you'll be needing just to get over this stress.
Oh. Mordor, for whatever reason, Mordor is probably the person that is handling this the best.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Well, in any case, you are left to your devices, and you're able to retire for the evening, since it is late afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm
I need
presuming
a
that.
nail and
Only means
and a
cabbage.
nap.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can find both of those at the Golden Home, where you are introduced to Clyde, Poverty, who is an elf, another elf who, well, I think he is an elf, who runs the inn, and he is one of the mages at the Archmage's Tower. And he says that he kind of welcomes, he's like, I guess I'll be seeing more of you as well then. And before you even are able to ask, he knows exactly how you feel and slides you a drink and says, your room is upstairs. Caiaphas has made sure, has informed me of your accommodations.
Before we leave Caiaphas, I'd just kind of like holding my shoulder and like massaging it out.
Hmm.
Oh
Oh, like you're
no.
sore.
Yeah, from using the sword.
Yeah, you're still hit with the fatigue, so your shoulder hurts, but your whole body feels like you just feel like 3 times the weight of like your entire person. Like you feel
Ugh.
very aware of the world being heavy on you. That's how taxing the sword is on you from fatigue. But yeah, um, the room. Oh my goodness, I can't remember how I described the room before, but the room is as you're sort of let in, and he just says you could take the ale and go to your room if you want. It's he gives you a key, mentions that the key stays in the building, but he describes the place as a rather homely feeling. It's a very nice wood finish and a very large, comfortable bed. Um, in the various corners of the room, you see an array of things that any adventurer could possibly dream of. A little armory on one side with a table to maintain your gear and weapons. A small library in the corner of another side of the room, where it's a small collection of books of various interests and intrigues. Um, a map sits atop on one side, showing the entirety of the realm of Valvederia and kind of almost at its centerpiece. And it's honestly it's a very accommodating like place. You feel comforted, even if it seems like very different from the city. You feel kind of at calm, and you feel peace. Yeah, sorry. You feel sort of like at peace with this place. You have one window that kind of opens up, and you can see the rest of the city beyond, which is nice. Nice little cobblestoned streets and little houses just sitting and lining around the cities. And off in the distance, you can see the walls, and out beyond the plains and forests. So that's sort of the setup you've got. And of course, you know, the places you are able to make any changes as you want. But for the most part, it's that's pretty much the simple basic setup. You also do find on the desk a nice lump sum of cash. With a note
Hooray!
for you guys specifically, that since you guys have an extra party member, cash will be a little bit tighter because, well, there's more of you to go around.
Fine.
So rather than like the usual 1,000 that you were getting, which is already like pretty generous, you're getting only like 500.
500 apiece. That's fine.
Yep. So a lump sum of 500, including to you, Poverty, but you're given an extra bonus of 150, so you get a 650 gold instead of 500. Consider it as
Yeah,
your
because of the
first day.
shit mortar for you.
Yeah, first day on the job bonus.
Yeah. By the way, just before, Poverty goes to her room, Morderin will personally, apologize for what he basically had Poverty to do.
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
But yeah, Morderin apologizes for basically what he had her do.
There may be a time where we'll feel trapped and we find another one of these artifacts. I'm not sure I want to touch one of those again.
Then leave that to me.
I nod, but in the back of my mind, I know that I'll have to use another one at some point.
Yeah, and Morderin basically just that was an emergency situation at that point. If we have to use one of these artifacts again, which he hopes to God does not happen. No God, because Morderin.
Hopes to not God.
He hopes to not God. He hopes himself that we don't have to do that again. But Morderin does say, if it comes down to it, next time it'll be him. He'll be the one doing this.
As much as I want to see my sister's safety, I also want to see my sister as well.
Yeah, Morderin just kind of closes his eyes and just nods. And he just says, I would like everybody to see, well, their family, their friends.
And you said your brother might know her. How would he know her?
Well, my brother has let's say he can be well connected with certain types of people. Let's just say we had a sort of duality in Brosnov. I handled the things in the front and he handled things in the back.
Does he know of Raven's Claw?
Good question. Would he know about Raven's Claw?
Perhaps.
Peter.
Perhaps.
Would you like me to roll for it?
Completely made up, by the way.
Well, with that.
So, in my backstory, I kind of left Ophelia with an underground syndicate.
Yeah.
Basically, before I left Brosnov, just so she could kind of take care of her own. And I just, off the fly, just kind of thought of that name right now. So the underground syndicate's called Raven's Claw.
Okay. What would you have him roll, Peter?
I guess it would have to be. Ain't no such thing as knowledge local in this game, but insight.
Nope.
No. Investigation. It would be some kind of intelligence check. It would be some kind of intelligence related check.
History.
History. We'll go with that.
History? Okay. History is the same roll, so 13. This isn't for Mortarin, by the way. This is for.
I'm presuming
Yeah.
that this is for your other guy.
Yeah. It's not even mine.
Yeah, quote unquote your other
I just
guy.
beat him. Yeah.
I'll say that he may know about them, but doesn't know them. Like, he doesn't
Okay.
know them directly, but he likely knows about them.
All right. Mortar just kind of shrugs because he wouldn't fucking know.
Nope.
And he goes, well, he might know. Consider my brother to be opposite of me, but also better than me in almost every aspect.
Very well.
Yep. And with that, Mortarin will leave. He would think to his room, but unfortunately, no, Mortarin isn't done.
Very well.
Oh boy.
Lamine, is there anything you wish to do?
First is take a bath.
Oh, good. Oh, good. That gives Mortarin time.
Don't forget to wash the Yasha.
Yeah.
No, he can stay dirty today. Mortarin's not having it.
You know what? You earned your dirt.
The
Yeah.
wild child stays dirty another day.
Wait, does Lamine bathe Yasha?
Mortarin and Lamine bathe Yasha.
They both.
Oh my.
So I should probably specify. Yasha is kind of the feral child of the group, quite
He is.
literally.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a wandering martial artist who's a fairly grown from the wilderness. So things such as society and bathing are not very natural to him.
Yeah, so we have, just like a puppy, we have to bathe him.
Fights like one too.
He does.
Yeah. Lamine's gonna clean herself, and then she's gonna separate and clean and oil her gear, and then
Oh.
she's gonna pass out next to a windowsill.
Oh, good. That gives Mortarin time to go to her room.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yep. So probably in the middle of the oiling process, just fucking knock knock.
Come in.
Mortarin
Wiping
comes
down her
in.
eyes.
Yep. Mortarin just kind of looks at Lamine and this is like, you're not mad, right? You're not upset at the circumstances we are in.
Which part? Where we are now, or the sword?
Either.
No.
Oh, good. I thought you would be upset at me using an ancient weapon.
Honestly, if I had known that I could do that from the beginning, I might have suggested it.
Mortarin just kind of like looks at you, like in shock.
She looked back like completely serious.
I'll be real with you. If we could have done that from the get-go, we should have.
I'm not just saying that out of hindsight of getting stabbed by a sword a couple times.
Yeah.
Getting stabbed by a mercenary samurai.
Mortarin actually starts to kind of like start to laugh. Probably the first time Mortarin has ever laughed in the entire campaign. We're
Holy
7 sessions
shit.
in, it's the first time this fucking man has laughed.
Excellent.
Gives a side-eye look.
Oh my goodness, where do I even start with that? First of all, we have witnesses to what happened to this. You're okay with that?
Nothing much to be done. Am I supposed to be mad that you helped save my life?
He stops laughing at that point because that would be rude at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. he just kind of glances away at the mention of that part. Just doesn't really say anything. Just kind of looks away. Just like, yeah, I mean, I guess when you put it that way.
What we're doing is dangerous. Regardless, thank you.
I think it's safe to assume that they literally don't know what hit them.
No.
Clearly.
People are like, ha, look at all these cannons we got trained on them. Next thing you know, they're getting shot through the air.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And Mordrin kind of just, goes, well, I'm just gonna stay here for tonight. Yep. Just says, I'm gonna stay here for
just
tonight.
like nods, turns away, stops, turns back. What? Why? I mean, sure. I don't understand why though.
Mm.
He just kind of crosses his arms. He doesn't really say anything. He just looks away, crosses his arms. He doesn't even give her a response.
Lumid is way too tired to even deal with this. So it's like, you know what? Sure. She'll finish getting her gear maintained and then continue with sleeping next to the windowsill in the sunlight.
Yeah. Mordrin will, as she's finishing, just say,
Because she needs a fucking nap.
yeah, she does.
Off to sleep.
And he'll just say, we still have a lot to talk about, but not right now. But
It's like, what the fuck do you mean we still have a lot to talk about, man?
That's something that'll be between your characters then, perhaps. If there's nothing else, then I'm gonna wrap it up here for the session tonight. I didn't plan on having too much for tonight's session. I kind of was expecting that fight to last a little longer. And for other situations to happen, and not for you guys to use the sword. But damned if you do, damned if you don't. Well played.
Fucking weapon.
Use the sword. By the way, there was a 50-50 that would have happened, or something else would have happened. I should let you know.
God.
But I think I'm gonna cap off for the session tonight here.
Okay.
All right.
So with that, I'm gonna, I'll wrap it up by saying you will all gain 1 level.
Hooray! Yeah. I can fucking read minds, bitches!
Exactly. So yeah, feel free to update on Yasha, on our wild child, that he has 500 more gold and another level.
Level 3 paladin, here we go. Time to get my fucking archetype.
So yeah. I'm sure he'll be enthused to hear about how you guys fucking demolished a fucking well, he didn't demolish, but, send an airship back into the sky and, knock out like 30 fucking people, essentially, in one sweep. After losing to an epic duel. But that was kind of that was kind of gonna happen, I think.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Homeboy was ready to walk away with that sword. Oh no, I've been raided again. Oh no, Dungeon Doctor DMMD. We just finished session. The VOD will be up, but thank you so much. Oh wow. In any case, thank you so much. Thank you, Squalla, for the raid, and thank you, Dungeon Doctor, for raiding. Unfortunately, this is the end of the session. Yeah, it was wild. If I could go off for another hour just talking about what's going on, I would. But to sum it up, the party is essentially like on an adventure of retrieving like thousands of year old ancient artifacts of certain destruction and doom, essentially. And the previous couple sessions, they retrieved their second one, which was essentially this magic rapier that they got from this noble lady who's been collecting weapons, and she doesn't even know that this thing is actually an artifact of destruction. Most people aren't even aware that these things still exist, and all that. Exactly, and there's a bunch of them just lying around in the ground, waiting for them to be scooped up. So the Archmage essentially is like sending out the party to secretly collect them before people become aware of their existence, to dispose of them essentially. And the party had a run-in with a band of mercenaries and with their own airship and guns that trained on their little caravan of like, it was like a little wagon, like a horse-pulled wagon, and like a couple of guys with them, and they had like a little duel against this like mercenary samurai guy, and they had this one-on-one which they ended up losing to mercenaries. Exactly. But yeah, they had a one-on-one with this mercenary samurai who essentially won, and so he was just like, "I'll be taking the sword, please." And one of the other party members showed up with the sword, and then busted it out. They were able to just get the sword to activate, and ended up like making just a straight line of destruction and blowing apart everything in 100 feet in front of them. Because as they were described, this thing basically launches them like 100 feet straight in one direction and just like cuts through everything. They didn't realize that moves them at like light speed and just leaves like a sonic boom behind them. And it moved so, like, it was so powerful that it like launched this airship. It was like basically touching the ground, and it like launched this airship like 100 feet into the air and sent the samurai dude fucking flying.
I hope he's dead somewhere.
He's probably not.
He's probably
He's
not.
probably not. But I hope he's dead.
In any case, thank you for the raid,
Exciting.
guys. Thank you again, Squalla. Thank you, Dungeon Doctor. I'll give you a follow, actually. And,
Yay.
yeah. Yeah, it was crazy, but I'll have the VOD up, so you're more than welcome to checking it out. And, yeah, hope you guys have a great evening. Anyways, time to end stream here. Take care, guys.